Hi everybody, I'm Jen with JNT Creations and Allegory Gallery here in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Thanks for tuning in again today. If you like what we've been doing for you, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment on our videos, tell us what we're doing right, let us know what we could do differently. And if you want to stay up to date on notifications when we post something new, hit the little bell. Without further ado, let's get started. We are going to make these cute little Chrysocolla earrings with some Delicas and a little bit of turquoise beads in there. But the great thing about these is if you don't want to use Chrysocolla, if you don't have any, you can use something else. If you don't want to go with shades of blue, green, and brown, then you can go with another color. I will just give you the specifics on the beads, and you can pick your colors yourself. These are some Lotus Charms that we had at Allegory Gallery, and they did not come with holes in them. I had a metal punch, and I lined up where I wanted to have some dangles. So I pre-did that. Maybe I should have done that in the tutorial, but it's hole punching. It's kind of a no-brainer. You guys can figure it out if you have a metal punch. If you don't have a metal punch, they are relatively inexpensive, and you can do lots of things with them. These are brass charms, and again, this is Chrysocolla and turquoise. These are 11.0 Delicas, and I will let you know in the description how many we end up using. I have a few more here left, and just in case we drop one. And then we have two 12-inch pieces of, what is this? This is 24 gauge brass wire. Two 3-inch pieces of 20 gauge brass wire, vintage brass for the ear wires, and then 6, these are 21 gauge brass ball pins, and we need altogether 8 3mm Chrysocolla beads and 8 of your turquoise. I've got some that are blue turquoise and then the green. And then these are, these are it's a brownish bronze. We'll put it in the description, but that's a brownish bronze 11.0 Miyuki Delica, and then the turquoise ones. I'm sorry you don't have it with me. Some helpful tools: your needle nose, chain nose pliers, flush cutters, and a round nose plier, or this is the bail maker with different sizes on it. We are ready to go. All right, first things first, we need to do the hole punches. It's easiest to do the center one first, right under the center of the lotus flower, and then the other 2 side ones. Make sure you're down low enough that you're not going to cut off those 2 side lotus leaves. You want to come down just a little bit. Sometimes it's trial and error, but if you only find 2 of these charms, it's better to put a little mark where you want the tip of your tool. I've preloaded in the order that I wanted the Chrysocolla. That it does vary in color greatly, and I like that. I don't want it all the same. So very first thing we are going to do is take our piece of 24 gauge wire, and I'm going to start on the left hand side behind, because I want this 3mm bead to be behind the charm in the center. So I just left myself a tail. Did I go the right way? I did not. So let's do that again. Okay, so the front of the charm facing up. Leave yourself about a 2-inch tail, and you have that wire behind the charm. Hold that firmly between your thumb and your pointer finger and go towards the back from the front. And do 4 loops around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and cut that excess. Not excess, but excess. And pinch that down. All right. So as you can see, we have that wire going behind. And when I slip down my 3mm bead, it's going to nestle really nice in that top point of that charm. Okay, so coming around the front now, on the right hand side, we're going to make 5 coils because we need to clear that bead for the next row. Okay, and now we're ready to load up some Delicas. Yep. And I left off with that wire going underneath the left-hand side of that lotus flower. So we ended on top, and I'm going underneath. So now let's put 2 of the turquoise on, 1 of the brown, one more turquoise, and 1 of your turquoise tubes. Okay. So now wrapping around, I'm going to flip my piece so I keep wrapping in one direction. We're going to do 3 coils around that right hand side. Or is it it is the left. And 3. So you'll notice that I am zigzagging. So where I leave off on the top, I then go behind. So I left off on the top, I'm going behind the right hand side now. Next row, I'm going to do 2 turquoise, 2 brown, 2 turquoise, and 1 brown. Okay. Wrapping around that right hand side 3 times. Tighten everything up. Since I left off on top, I'm going to go underneath to the left. That was row 3. Okay, next row, I'm going to do 2 brown, 1 of the blue turquoise pieces. That first one was green, so now I'm going to do blue. A brown. Oh, I'm sorry. A blue. I mean, this was a completely willy-nilly pattern I did, but I'm showing you my pattern, so that was a blue and a brown. Another brown, and another brown. So 2 browns, turquoise and blue, a blue, 3 brown, and let's do another turquoise. That should get us to the other side. It did. So we were under, we're going over on this one, on the right hand. Oop, that is the left hand side, because I flipped it. I do pull that quite significantly, so I make sure that I pull up all the slack from those beads. And once again, I'm doing 3 times around. That gives it enough space in between rows. And now we are on the final row. So I'm going over the left, down through, so my last row will be under the right. Now our last row is going to be 2 blue, a brown, Let's do the other green piece of turquoise. A brown. A blue. The last piece of blue turquoise, if I can get a hold of it. And a brown. Perfect. Now I'm going to come up around that right hand side, and I'm going to coil all the way to the bottom of the charm so that it can't slide down. This is meant to be very organic and just fun. So straighten out your rows the way you see fit. Just be very careful not to crack those Delicas, because you'll have to start all over. There we go. I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and cut that tail. Try to cut it as close to the inside of the charm as possible so you don't have a pokey part. Nobody likes pokey parts. There we go. Lovely. All right, so let's put on our dangles. I like to do them all at the same time, so I'm going to do a 90-degree bend, just about a 1/4 inch above the bead. Go ahead and do it on the other side while you're holding that same tool. So on my smallest one, or if you're using a regular round nose plier, go to where you are happy with that size being. I just like small loops. I like to go as small as I can get away with on a piece because I just don't want all of that wire. So I'm in that 90-degree bend. I'm going around my tool, bringing it all the way around, and just putting it in line. So I have that eye pin. All right. And now we're going to add them onto our charm. So with the bar facing up, go through the front of your charm, hold that eye straight across, and coil down to the bottom of the bead. That's usually about enough space for 3 coils. And coil back up towards the top of that. This makes a 21 gauge pin go a little further. And those pins were about 3 inches, so 3-inch ball pins. Go ahead and snip your little edge off. Tuck it down. And there's your first dingle dangle. I'm going to do the same on the other 2, and we'll meet you back. Alrighty, so we've got all 3 of our dingle dangles on. I think that is super cute. Now we're just ready to put that ear wire on. We'll save that for the end after we do the second one. So we're taking that other earring. I'm going behind the charm, so the good side's on the other side, leaving myself 2 inches. Start my wraps. I'm going to go 5 times around. Was that 5 or was that 4? I'm sorry, that's 4 times around, and I think I just bonked the camera with my head. 3 and 4. Scooch everything up. Cut your excess wire. Tighten down your little loose piece. Okay. So this time I started on the right side so that our earrings would mirror one another. And don't worry if your earrings don't turn out exactly the same on both sides, because earrings are sisters, not always twins. So going to drop that 3mm bead down. Meter? I did it again. Millimeter. Slow down, Jen. And now I'm underneath that left-hand side. So I'm going to wrap 5 times around. This is very soft wire, so don't always need a tool for it. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ending underneath. Yes? Nope. Yes. So we're on top. So I'm going underneath. We're going to put on that first green piece of turquoise, a blue, a brown, and 2 blue. Okay, now I'm wrapping around the right-hand side 3 times. Next row, brown, 2 blue, 2 brown, 2 blue. Wrapping 3 times around. And ending on top. Row 4, dropping blue, 3 brown, blue, blue turquoise, and 2 brown. Going down under. Because we ended on top, we are going under the right. Wrap 3 more times. When your wire gets shorter, that's when you might want to switch to pulling it with the tool so you get nice tight tension. 2, 3, ending on top, going underneath. And our last row will be brown, the green turquoise, blue, brown, blue turquoise, brown, and 2 blue. Perfect. Okay, we're going over that right hand side, coiling all the way to the bottom. Since your turquoise does vary in size, as is the nature, unless it's really perfect turquoise, you may need some more Delicas on either side, depending on how much room needs to be taken up. Okay, tighten everything up. Trim your excess cord. And tuck your end. Straighten everything up the way you like it. That looks good to me. And let's stick this little part in there. There we go. Now it looks good. I say it looks good, so I continue to mess with it. Alrighty, there we go. And now let's do our dingle dangles. I'll do one slow with you, and then we'll meet you at the end. So, pointy part goes through the front of your charm. This will make sure that your spot with the 90-degree bend is on the front and aesthetically pleasing. Hold that loop straight across. It coils down to the bead. It is tight. coil back up to the top of that eye, or your loop, if you will. Cut off your excess and tuck in your prickly points. That's a technical term, prickly points. It's not really, I can't back that up. There we go. Meet you back after we finish these last two. Okay, we are back. We have all of our dingle dangles added, and now it's time to do our ear wires. You are welcome to put them on to ready-made ear wires, but if y'all have watched my videos, you know I like to do this kind of ear wire so that my earrings cannot come off of them. I like all my stuff to stay where I put it originally. All right, so if you saw what I did a 90-degree bend on both of them and then started them together, wrapping around my round nose plier. So I have 2 loops. That goes over and to the right. Open that up a little. Put the pointy part through the top front of your charm. Grab that eye straight across and do about 3 coils up that straight part. That first coil being the most important. So if it winds up crooked, adjust it before you continue. 2 and 3. Go a little bit further around. Go. Snip off that excess. How did I know I needed to go a little bit more around? I looked at the front of my earring and gauged where that tail was going to end, and that tail was trying to end in the front. I didn't want to see that in the front. We want the end to be in the back. Okay. So now I'm going to do a 90-degree bend at the top of that first coil. Put it back on my bail maker on the second to largest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5. If you do not have a multi-tier bail maker, you can use a Sharpie or a small pencil, depending on how big you like your loop. I do not like big ear wires. I like small ones. So just enough to get on your lobe. If anything's wonky, adjust it. Okay. Now, taking a flat nose plier is really good for this one too, but my chain nose pliers are big enough. So I'm going to grab that ear wire across the top of it, even with the top of my loop, and I'm going to do a 45-degree bend. I'm going to snip that so that we have about a 1/4 of an inch tail. And there's our first ear wire. Not coming off. The only exit is through your ear. Okay, taking the other one. Again, opening it up. Pointy part goes through the top of your charm, ensuring that your 90-degree bend is on the front. Grabbing across that eye and coiling around 3 times. One, 2, 3. My tail will end in the back, so I'm good. Nip and tuck. $90, top of the coils. Number 5. Up and around. Rotate my tool. So I want that bar parallel or just touching that loop. Chain nose. Bottom of my coils. 45-degree bend. Snip with about a 1/4 inch tail. And there we go. Take a nail file or an earring smoother and smooth out that edge, or else if it touches your neck at all, it's going to be itchy and you will be unhappy. And there you have them. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching us again today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Please hit that subscribe button, like, share this video, give us a comment or two, and post what you've created in our Facebook group, Allegory Gallery Design Challenges, and hit the little bell. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.